Hey everybody! For my one villainous scene, I decided that one of the best villains to talk about for this project is Eris, the goddess of discord, from DreamWorks' 2003 film Sinbad and the Legend of the Seven Seas. Eris is a simple villainess. She enjoys causing chaos whenever she can.
Glorious chaos.
I'm an agent of chaos.
And whenever she feels like it, she plays with the world of the mortals. To start my description of her, let's be honest, literally every second Eris is on screen, she looks amazing, okay? By God, look at the animation on her. The numerous artists in charge of animating her succeeded in making her look otherworldly, with her reality warping and teleporting abilities. Despite being intimidating, she's also very playful. Her tone is typically restrained, but she likes to constantly alter her size or shift back and forth between being solid to being made of smoke, probably for the sake of, just being chaotic, I guess. Not only does she look like a complete seductress, every word that comes out of her mouth is seductively said by Michelle Pfeiffer.
This is going to be fun.
Clearly emulating her Catwoman voice. Almost everybody I know that has seen her in this movie has admitted to be attracted to her, so, don't be embarrassed about it. She is in every matter of the word a tease. She's extremely flirtatious and uses her sex appeal to her advantage to make people like Sinbad believe she's not a threat. In this movie, we follow Sinbad, played by Brad Pitt, a pirate who struggles with his morality when it comes to stealing the Book of Peace that his best friend Proteus is delivering home to his city called Syracuse. Sinbad is approached by Eris, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, and is propositioned by her to steal the book. Sinbad at first agrees, but later he changes his mind when he reunites with his first love, Marina, played by Catherine Zeta-Jones. Using this to her plan, Eris disguises herself as Sinbad and steals the book herself, framing Sinbad for the crime. Sinbad is only able to convince Proteus of his innocence, and as a consequence, Proteus takes Sinbad's place to be executed to give him the time needed to steal the book back from Eris. Refusing to take responsibility, Sinbad attempts to run away but is stopped by Marina, who convinces him to save Proteus. Watching every step of the way of their journey, Eris plays the role of the big villain and sends obstacles and monsters towards Sinbad's way.
He thinks he's going to pay us a visit.
Being the goddess of chaos, Eris is practically untouchable. There is really no hope that Sinbad and his crew will even be able to enter her realm, let alone steal the book from her, and yet she enjoys the challenge, like a lioness playing with her prey. She also enjoys finding humans that are just as corrupt as her, to prove her point that the world is better fit for chaos and not order.
Your heart is as black as mine.
Every scene that she's in this movie is just spectacular, and she really does steal the show. But there is one scene in this movie that has always resonated with me, and that is the scene where she provides Sinbad with one last challenge. She asks him one question, and if he answers it with his heart and soul, then she will undo all her evil. Unfortunately, the question is more of a sadistic choice.
What makes you think I have it?
Well, you framed me for the theft, so they would execute me?
You?
No. Proteus. You knew he would take my place. You thought I'd run. Then Proteus would die, and Syracuse would be
Left without the next rightful king and tumble into glorious chaos. Glorious chaos.
Introduce a little anarchy. Upset the established order, and everything becomes chaos.
You humans are so predictable. Proteus couldn't help being ever so noble, and you couldn't help betraying him.
But I didn't betray Proteus. I didn't run away.
Oh, but you did betray him.
You're wrong about him.
He knows I'm not.
You don't know what's in his heart.
Oh, yes, I do. And more importantly, so does he. In your heart, you know that Proteus is going to die because he saw something in you that just isn't there.
No.
You want to bet? I'll tell you what. Let's play a game. And if you win, I'll give you the Book of Peace. There it is, noble hero. I'll ask you a question. One Simple question. If you answer truthfully, the book is yours.
Ask your question.
We all know what happens if you get the Book of Peace. You return it to Syracuse and save Proteus. But if you don't get the book, you have a choice to make. Either sail to paradise with the woman of your dreams, or return to Syracuse to die. You're either a thief or a hero. So here's my question, Sinbad. If you don't get the book, will you go back to die?
Eris's question is based off of everything we have seen up until this point in the movie. Sinbad has been afraid of the thought of returning back to save his friend, losing Marina, and accepting his own death. The scene is positively profound and mesmerizing to look at, with the artist succeeding at making Tartarus look like another dimension. Sinbad and Marina literally only have one island of rock to stand on, with the illuminating Book of Peace before them, making the scene feel more tense, as if the question will end the world as we know it. While we have seen him be heroic for the last 30 minutes, we know, and he knows, that Eris's words actually hold some weight, which is why I love this look of self-doubt in him. But then he becomes confident in his answer. But then
I will go back.
You're lying.
he falls. This causes Sinbad and the audience to reevaluate everything.
Eris is right about me.
No, she's not. You answered her question. You told the truth.
It wasn't the truth. It was me trying to pass myself off as someone I'm not.
Sinbad, I've seen who you are. You don't need to pretend.
After an emotional conversation with Marina, Sinbad realizes that despite failing the test, he must prove to himself that he is an honest man, and sails back to save Proteus' life.
I bet you thought I wouldn't make it.
Furthermore, instead of just rescuing Proteus, Sinbad takes responsibility for his crimes and wholeheartedly places himself before the executioner. The music only enhances this scene, making it even more emotional. Sinbad is absolutely terrified, but he doesn't run away this time or try to talk his way out of it. With one last look towards his friends and the gorgeous sunset, Sinbad is finally satisfied that he proved Eris wrong, and is prepared for his imminent death. No words could ever describe the shock and respect I had for Sinbad watching this as a kid for the first time. This really did make me think he was going to die. And then the sword shatters. So the test did not end in Tartarus. Instead, it continued up until the moment of truth, where Sinbad literally laid out his neck before the sword, fulfilling his truthfulness to the question that he would die in his friend's place because it was the right thing to do. Enraged and perplexed by this action, Eris saves Sinbad's life.
Everything was going perfectly. And now,
You do this!
maybe you can fool these people, but I know who you are.
I came back. That's why you're here. This was all part of your test. I told the truth. And wasn't there something about being bound for all eternity?
An interesting trait for Eris as a villain is that she surprisingly likes to keep her word. She displays this by marking herself as if to hold her to her own word, as she describes as being bound for all eternity, which is a standard to say the least in Greek mythology, since keeping their promises was one of the few rules the gods had to follow no matter what.
You have my word as a goddess. Fair enough?
There is no other ex machina here. There is no other gods that come to put Eris in her place. Instead, it's just her own word that forces her to not just save Sinbad's life, but also for her to return the book and leave Sinbad and his friends in peace. For the moment. Despite her bitterness, she accepts her loss with grace and simply leaves, probably to cause problems elsewhere.
And lucky for you, I've got places to go. Things to destroy. Stuff to steal.
Eris is a true villain. Sure, she's not the most complex villain, but her motivation is solely to bring the chaos, and that's enough. She's the type of villain that you know is pure evil, but you can't help but like her, or be attracted to. She suffers from what a lot of villains suffer, the sin of pride. She assumes she knows exactly how mortals will act and can't predict an immoral person like Sinbad doing something selfless. Her entire plan is ruined because she offered to give Sinbad the Book of Peace if he just offered his life in place of Proteus, and never actually expected him to go through with it. I just love this movie. Sinbad is one of the most underrated animated films out there. Actually, it was the last of DreamWorks' hand-drawn animated films before they went full CGI. And you know what? Every chance I get, I try to bring it more attention. Thank you for watching. Do you agree that Eris is a great villain? Please let me know in the comments.
Ha! That's a good one. Goddess of Chaos? Oh, I'm writing that down.